thank you so much, Susan O'Byrne, for participating in this project. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you, Raphael. It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you for taking your time. For the viewers watching this for the first time, the idea of this project that we're putting together is to create a space to invite international experts like Susan, who work in business in different markets around the world to talk about the cultural and communication aspects of doing business in their countries. So today we have Susan, who's from Australia, and I have 7 questions which I've been asking all the interviewees, and we will start now. So Susan, thank you so much again for your time. Tell us a little bit more about you and what kind of work that you do, please.
So I'm based in Western Australia, which is our largest state here in Australia, but the least populated. I'm a business advisor to a range of small businesses, particularly businesses thinking about decarbonisation. And I also work in economic development and look at place-based economic development. And in practice, that means working in a lot of Aboriginal communities with Aboriginal corporations, thinking about what commercial businesses could help them become sustainably financially independent over time.
Fantastic. So you cover a lot of areas and you have a lot of experience in different with different stakeholders as well. Fantastic.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you so much. For the second question, what are some of the things you recommend people to do or say when first meeting or speaking with a person with whom they might want to initiate a project or business opportunity together in Australia? And also, what should you recommend someone not say and do, please?
I think it's really important to do the basic courtesies first, inquire about someone's health, inquire about how their day is going, ask them about where they live and where their business is based and the basics of their business. You may know all this already from your research, but it's always lovely to actually ask questions and acknowledge the person and show that you're listening to what's important to them. What I would definitely not do is crack jokes about kangaroos, riding kangaroos to work, koalas in the main street. Avoid all the cliches. No one in Australia says down under, 0 people. And Antipodean is actually a word I would avoid completely because that's actually quite offensive, really. Anything to do with Crocodile Dundee references, anything like that, just it gets tiresome. But yes, the big one that always jumps to mind is do you ride a kangaroo to work? No, I don't. I live in a big complex city like most people do.
Absolutely. Well noted. I get these kind of comments. My own country in Brazil, so I totally understand. So well noted. Very important. And it's their first encounter, so it has to be more, it should be more formal. And so thank you so much.
The other one too is listing all the things that might kill you in Australia. We know we have a lot of dangerous animals, but most of us don't see them very often. But it's really interesting the number of people that want to tell you about the sharks and the spiders and the snakes. Don't bother.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you. For the third question, we also recognize that it's important to have a deeper cultural understanding of a local place when doing business there. What cultural aspects might be considered when doing business in Australia?
In Australia, we're very direct by nature. So when you're approaching someone with a proposal, be direct, be very transparent about what it is that you want to do, and be very clear in your communication. Other cultures I know are much more relationship building. If you are working with an Aboriginal corporation, then I would focus very much on creating that personal relationship first. But if it's in a Western context, then be very transparent, very direct, very clear. We're quite transactional like that.
Perfect. Absolutely. And I've been interviewing other people from other markets, like you said, other countries, and yeah, Latin America is very relationship based. So these are the key things for people to take into account when thinking about different markets and business opportunities. So thank you for clarifying that. For the fourth question, more based on the aspect of communication, if someone does not speak English in the context of Australia, what do you suggest a foreigner do to be able to communicate more successfully with locals in Australia and to be able to do business there?
I would invest the time and effort in finding a good local interpreter, someone that understands Australian English. I would very much be looking for a local person. We, like all of the other countries that speak English, have a very rich slang and colloquial language that people use very regularly. And you may be able to speak standard English, but if you aren't deeply steeped in Australian English, you might miss quite a lot. So I would very much find a local interpreter and use those services, and they're very much worth it.
Yes, well noted. And yeah, there are the cultural cues, it's not just about the English, it's to understand if you're in a meeting, the local person will understand what the cues are. So very, very important. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so for as an example, if you're in a meeting with Aboriginal Australians, may often not look you in the eye directly, and that may take some time. That's a respect and a trust and a cultural thing. Well, for other Australians, we might be looking for you to look directly into our eyes as part of building that relationship, and a local interpreter will help you with those things.
Oh, very interesting. It's great that you have this knowledge of all of the cultures there as well, so that you have experience with that too. Perfect. Thank you. The fifth question, to get better results in visibility or sales, what are your recommendations on the most effective ways to do marketing for products or services in Australia? And this question has a little bit more to do with maybe the marketing channels. How would a foreign company come in, and what would you suggest them to do in terms of marketing?
Well, that would depend who your customer is. If it's a business to business relationship, I would invest time and effort in doing your market segmentation and your market targeting. I would very much be really specific about who you want your customer base to be, and then finding the channels that they actually look at. So for instance, it might be working with an industry association to put on an event for that industry. It might be investing in doing some research with a university that will inform an industry with some new and interesting information. If it's a business to consumer product, we're very visual people. I would be thinking about some really interesting social media. It doesn't have to be stunt based, but it does have to be visually very interesting, and then investing in understanding which social media channel is going to be the best route to your particular customers.
To reinforce that point again, social media, which ones do you think are more used or more appropriate? In some countries, it's more Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. What do you suggest in terms of the scale there in Australia?
Again, yeah. So depending on who you want to speak to in the consumer base, Instagram very much, particularly for younger people, and obviously TikTok as well. The Facebook for anyone over 35 it's still a very good consumer target market. If it's a professional services audience you're looking for, then LinkedIn very much so. And I would say that would probably be the top three.
Great. No, it helps a lot because the company can come in and they can create their own company page in some of these platforms. So it's important they understand what will be the priority in terms of the segment, the audience, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. Great. And for the sixth question, it has more to do with empathy, generating empathy with the locals. If a business partner in Australia wants to get to know you better, invites you to a local coffee, tea place, restaurant, or a virtual happy hour, what are the kind of topics people in Australia like to talk about that's not related to business, for example?
Well, the number one is sport. And I would make sure you know which football code is the predominant football code in the state you're in, because we're in a country where we play 4 different types of football, and certain states are what we call Australian rules football predominant. Others are rugby league, others are rugby union, and soccer or round ball football is played everywhere. But invest some time in knowing the local teams and the local code that's the most predominant. The other thing is Australians are very big travellers. We fly out of our own country a lot. So talking about travel, places you've been, places that your client has been and they found interesting, are really good topics of conversation to get you started.
Yeah, it's very true. I've met Australians all over the world because I've traveled a lot as well, and you meet Australians, and they're very nice. They're very nice to get to know, and they're very open and generous. So it's very nice to meet Australians. And even here, in a couple of years ago in the World Cup, there was a huge group of Australians that came to Brazil a couple of years ago. So I know they are travelers. That's absolutely true. I've seen them in many countries, which is great. Traveling is the best thing. So it's great to exchange ideas of traveling, right? Traveling stories or suggestions with with the locals. Fantastic. Perfect. Coming to the last question, Susan, what one word should everyone learn to say in English in the Australian context, and why should they say this word, one word or phrase that you would suggest?
The one phrase I would learn is no worries. First of all, because it will help you to understand what on earth it is we are saying. No worries tends to mean it's not a problem. Don't worry about it. I'll get that sorted out for you. This, what you're saying doesn't trouble me. I find it felt relatively simple to understand, and I'll get on with it. It covers a whole range of things, but it is a very well used phrase, and often one that I find people from other countries are very confused by, but it's a good one to learn and know.
Perfect. No worries. We'll take it down. Thank you so much. Well, it went by really quick. I just wanted to thank you. Thank you again, Susan, for your time, for taking part of the project. I hope that also this opportunity benefits you and the work that you do. I appreciate you sharing your insights, recommendations, valuable experience. And for other people who want to reach out to you, get to know about your work, I will be posting in the article that I'll put on LinkedIn. So yeah, perhaps some opportunities come out of this conversation. It was really nice. Do you have any last comments or suggestions for people?
Come visit us. We love having visitors. So yes, we're very open to business, and we're very open to meeting new people. As you know, we like to travel. We love to see new people here too.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you for your time. Bye. Thanks.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely to talk to you. Bye-bye.